everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to Yarn Purpose. It's the end of April and you know what that means. It's time for another coffee catch-up. Hey everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Yarn Purpose. And today I'm back with another coffee catch-up. I have this coffee that has been sitting on my desk for a number of hours. Iced coffee, as always, you know me. Anyway, I have so much to talk to you about, so let's go ahead and dive right in. So first, to catch you up on what has been going on, if you follow me on Instagram, you may know that I spent 10 days this month in New Mexico and Arizona. I was teaching down there for a knitting guild and 2 yarn stores, and I just had the most wonderful time. Everybody was so nice. It was just so fun to go down there and teach for 10 days. I love that area of the country, and yeah, I just had a really great time. And so of course I came home with a variety of yarn and things, so I thought that I would show you some of it. So I don't have quite everything out here. Some of it I did already put away, but I do have, I think, all the yarn that I bought, so and that was gifted to me, so I wanted to definitely share that with you. So my first stop on my teaching trip was in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I taught for the Unravelers Knitting Guild, which is located in Las Cruces, and I spent 2 days there teaching them. They were so nice. I loved Las Cruces. I really liked the vibe there. But anyway, they were so sweet and they gave me a few things. I just wanted to kind of show you a few of them. The first thing they got me, and I've never had one of these before, is a Lazy Kate for your ball of yarn. Isn't that cool? I do have a random ball of yarn over here. Let's see. Ugh, got it. So what you would do is take your ball of yarn and stick it on here, and then wherever the outside is, I don't know where, here's the outside on this one, a little twisted here. So then you can knit from the outside of the ball, and because it's a Lazy Kate, it'll spin right around. Isn't that neat? So I never had one of those before, so it's such a cool tool. I actually was using it while knitting a shawl today just because I wanted to try it. Usually I knit my balls of yarn from the center out, but this was really fun to try, so I definitely think I'll be using it more. So that was so sweet. And then they also gave me a couple of skeins of yarn here that were dyed by people local to them, I think both from New Mexico. So this first one here, I'll show you this one. It's Bella Dulce yarns, and this one's a Tencel Merino, 50% of each. It doesn't appear to have a colorway name, but there you go. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, I can't wait to use that. And then the other one is from Fistful of Fiber. This is also fingering weight, and it's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it's lovely blue. So again, so pretty. So thank you so much, Unravelers Knitting Guild. They got me a few other things too, but I did already put those away. But the yarn and the Lazy Kate, I knew you guys would want to see. So, so that was that. And then after that, I went up to Albuquerque and I taught at the yarn store at Nob Hill, and it was wonderful there too. And then after that, I was there for about 2 days, 2.5 days. Then I had a couple days off and I drove up to Taos, and I had never been up there before. It was beautiful, such a beautiful drive. If you ever have time to go like on a road trip vacation, definitely road trip around Mexico, or New Mexico, excuse me. It's so beautiful. So while up in Taos, I picked up a couple skeins of yarn. They had the Woolly Wonka fibers. I've used this yarn. Anne is the owner and dyer of Woolly Wonka fibers. I love her. I know her a little bit. I've worked with her on some things in the past, but she lives in New Mexico, so I felt like I was at a New Mexico yarn store, and they had it, so I had to just pick up some sort of, I guess, in the wild in her home state. So this is her Nimue DK yarn. I've used the Nimue sock yarn or like fingering weight yarn before, but never the DK, but it is a lovely yarn to knit with. It's 50% silk and 50% superwash merino. So I got two. The yardage on this is 230 yards per 100 grams skein, and the colorway is Hydrangea, which I love hydrangeas. So this is so pretty. I don't know. I never know what I'm going to make out of these things when I buy them usually, but this just had to come home with me. And then the other yarn I picked up was ZiaWoolz Enchanted Fibers. She's also a dyer from New Mexico. And I got this skein, which is a little bit wild for me, but it was just so pretty. I couldn't resist it. This is her Sugarloaf base, and it is a light fingering weight yarn. It's 100% superwash merino, and it's actually 550 yards for 4 ounces. So that's sort of what really sold me on it, just because that is a lot. That's a lot of yarn for one skein. And the colorway is the Beekeeper's Apprentice. So again, it's so pretty. And then finally, my last stop is I drove over to Flagstaff, Arizona, and I stopped at Meteor Crater along the way because it's right off the highway, which was super awesome. Oh, now I will show you this too. You know, lapel pins are all the rage right now. So while at Meteor Crater, I picked up this pin, and then like the little meteor will go back and forth. Anyway, that was a super cool stop if you're into science. I don't know. It was worth I was there for about an hour, hour and a half. But anyway, then I went to Flagstaff to Pearl in the Pines and taught there for a day before heading home. I love Flagstaff. I love the whole Southwest. My husband and I really do think we could end up living there at some point in the future. Who knows? But it was just such a wonderful trip. But while at Pearl in the Pines, I picked up 2 skeins of this yarn, which is Desert Bloom yarns. It's hand dyed in Arizona. So I tried to get things that were sort of local while I was out there, because you know you do that too and buy the vacation yarn. I'm not alone. So I got the Desert Bloom yarns, and this is the Arizona Honeysuckle colorway. It is the DBY Luxury base, 70% superwash merino, 20% silk, 10% cashmere, 437 yards per 100 grams. I just loved this color. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to make a gigantic shawl out of it. When I buy 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn, that's usually what it happens, is they become one giant shawl. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. I don't know, maybe I'll take all these yarns and make a little Southwest ebook or something. I don't know. So yeah, so that was pretty much the yarn that I got on the trip. So it was really wonderful. I came back and now have just been diving back into work, but I did finish a couple of things. So I guess we will go ahead and talk about that. Okay, so while I was in New Mexico and Arizona, even though I was working the whole time, you know, pretty much every day, I had a few days off here and there, I did a lot of knitting because I did have time at night. I still was waking up pretty early, even though maybe I wasn't, you know, teaching until maybe 10 in the morning or something. I am an early bird, so, you know, I did have some time in the morning and stuff, so I actually got quite a bit of knitting done. So I haven't blocked anything yet. But the first thing that I did, I actually started in the airport on the way to New Mexico, and it took me 5 days, was I knit an entire asymmetrical shawl. So this is, it's not blocked yet, but this will be a pattern that I will have coming out in May, probably. And the yarn, let me see if I have the yarn. Oh, I do have the label in here. I think I may have showed the yarn in the past. It is the Knitcircus Yarns Parasol, which is 30% silk, 70% merino, and let's see, it's 660 yards in one ball, so that's a good size, and the colorway is Mistress of Myself. And so yes, it's this. I started over here in the blue and basically knit until I was going to run out of yarn at the purple, so it's just one ball. And I did this very nice, just sort of easy zigzag textured sort of stitch on it. So 5 days I knit that. It was a very repetitive pattern, but it was so fun to knit. So I'm looking forward to finishing this one off, weaving in the ends, blocking it, and getting the pattern out to you. And so then the next thing I worked on was my wool wrap. Again, I think I've showed this to you before. I actually just finished it this morning. This was a beast of a knit, but so fun. So it starts with the lace that has some stripes in it. Then it just goes to garter stitch stripes for about a third in the middle there. And then the last third goes back to the lace. I do have some ends to weave in this just for reference. I had been knitting on it some on my trip, but then this was where I started it again when I was on the airplane, because this already was becoming quite the beast of a project. This was probably not the best thing to be knitting on a plane because it was getting so huge. So I kind of stopped weaving in the ends because just trying to get out the scissors in the midst of all this fabric just seemed like a bad idea on a bumpy airplane ride. But I did just finish it this morning. So I'll just have those few ends to weave in, which isn't too bad. I'm glad that I kept up with it for most of the project. So again, I'll be blocking this one soon, and this will be another new pattern that will be out in May. So again, that's out of the wool yarn wash fingering. I will leave down below the names of the colorways. I don't have the labels here with me, but I'll leave the names of the colorways down below. So I'm very excited about that. And then the last thing, which has been a work in progress, I've been talking about it here on the Coffee Catch-Ups, is I've been crocheting little hexagons to make a blanket. And so I started those sometime in March and was kind of just doing, you know, whatever, like 1 a day, 3 a day. I was just trying to do at least 1 a day. Well, then my friend Heather Zapetti, she told me about this thing on Instagram called the 100 Day Project. And there is a website for it. I'll leave a link to it down below. And basically it's sort of kind of like one of those Instagram photo challenges, but it's for 100 days and you can pick whatever you want. So, I was already trying to crochet like a hexagon or 2 a day. So I decided that this 100 Day Project photo challenge thing on Instagram was a great way to try to keep me on track with working on my little crocheted Hexies every day. So I didn't bring them all over because now I'm starting to have a lot of hexagons. But I have been crocheting just a ton of hexagons. So here are the last 2 I did. So these were the last couple days, the ones I did. So for the most part, my goal for myself was just to crochet 1 hexagon a day. As a former lab nerd, I had timed myself on how long it took me to make a crocheted hexagon, and I knew that I could make one, including weaving in the ends, in 15 to 17 minutes. So to me, that felt like something I could handle, making 1 a day. Because I, have a lot of other knitting and a lot of other projects going on. So I felt, okay, I could give 15 to 17 minutes a day to crocheting a hexagon. So my goal is just to do 1 a day. There have been a few days where I have knit 2. I don't think I've had any days where I've crocheted 3 yet. But, yeah, I'm just trying to crochet 1 a day, which I have so far kept up with. So when I started, the 100 Day Project, I already had 15 of them made just from, I had decided before that I was going to make this leftover sock yarn blanket with the crocheted Hexies. So I had already started. So I had 15 before I started, and now I have it written down here in my trusty Hobonichi planner here. Then I have another, let's see, 21. So I've made, I'm on day 24 of this challenge, and I have 28 Hexies that I've made because I did, like I said, I had a couple days where I did make 2. So again, just as a reminder, my plan is sort of loose, but I'm just taking any of the brighter colored yarns that I have, and I'm doing the first 3 rounds in that, and then I'm taking my more neutral yarns that I have leftovers and doing the last 2 rounds. So I do have a few now that when I was going to run out, I didn't have enough to maybe do all the rounds. I do have a couple where I've used multiple colors. I think that I will, if I end up with like several, you know, like, I don't know. I did calculate how many Hexies I need, and it's over 200, but I mean, it's really going to depend. I'm going to kind of have to lay it out and really see like what size. I do feel like this blanket, I want it to almost, I mean, we don't even have a twin size bed in our house, but I feel like I almost want to, like, it could go on a twin size bed. I want like a big blanket. So if I have made, so if I need like 200, if I've made 20 or more or something of the multicolored ones, I think I will include them in and just try to space them out. I think it could look nice. And again, Heather Zapetti was the one that kind of told me that, well, if you have a bunch of them, just carefully place them in your blanket and they'll look fine. Because at first I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but I made them and they're pretty. But she was like, put them in your blanket. So again, the 100-day project, this is something that I think they do several rounds of it. They might be like on their 5th round of it. This is the first time I've tried to do it, but it is a fun little challenge just to sort of set aside just a little time every day to just kind of chill out and crochet a hexagon. So yeah, it's been really fun. So that's pretty much it on the stuff that I've been working on. I, of course, always have a bunch of work projects that I've been working on. So, of course, I've just been working on those in the in-between. Oh, there is one other thing I want to show you, and I didn't bring it in here. So hold on just a second. I am going to go get it, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So the other thing I wanted to show you was, I've talked about it some, but I you know, have written a few knitting books. I have a link to them down below if you want to find out more information. But one thing that's really cool about writing knitting books and having a traditional publisher that publishes those books is that sometimes the rights to my book get sold to publishers in other countries and my books get translated into other languages, which just blows my mind that I have books that are available in other languages. But anyway, my most recent book, Stunning Stitches, has been translated into German. So my other books have been translated into German as well. And then my first book, Sock Yarn Shawls, is actually also in Russian. But it's just cool that all my, I cannot read German, but it's just so cool to see my book in German. So yeah, I was really excited. So Martingale, my publisher, sent me a copy of it, and yeah, it just, every time I get these books in the mail, I don't know, it's so cool to me. So, like, here we go. So you can see it's just like totally in German. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, that came in the mail the other day, so I just thought I would quickly share that with you too. It's just like, one of the weird things of my job is that sometimes my books get translated into German, but it's super fun. So I guess if you're in Germany or you read German and you want a German copy of Stunning Stitches, you can now get one. So that's it for me for today. I hope that you liked this coffee catch-up. It was a little bit of yarn and a little bit of finished objects. Next time I will show you those shawls once they're blocked and all those ends are tucked in, you know. But if you like this video, go ahead and give it that thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos from me, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you want, you can turn on the notifications so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. I upload videos most Fridays. And that's it for me for today. I hope everybody has a great week, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!